The Garden Report is brought to you by FanDuel, the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network.
All three bigs were outstanding tonight, Bobby.
Yes,
Yeah.
Brissett was really good as well, John. You're right.
Yep. Brissett. Horford had a great night.
Bobby, we did 10 minutes on Luke. 10. We couldn't wait.
I knew
10 minutes.
I knew this night was coming. I didn't want to jump off the island. I'm still here, still leading the charge, and I don't want to hear from the fans because I was hearing some nasty stuff on Twitter when he was entering early, and really throughout the early portion of the schedule. 4 games. Everyone wanted to give up on Luke. This is who he is.
He's 5 for 5, 7 rebounds.
That's who he is.
That's who he is.
Not the guy who's been in the. Oh my God.
Listen, he's talked throughout the early portion of the season about it being a different second unit, it being a group of guys that's still getting used to each other. And like I've said, he's a guy who's not going to score 11 points a game, obviously, but he is a connective piece for this bench, who's a good passer, who can test shots, who plays a style that the team wants them to play. And it's not flashy. It's not maybe even consistent, and it's matchup dependent, of course, but he's a guy I think you can more often than not rely on for those short stints. And you do have the upside of this if they're able to get him going in the pick and roll game a little bit. So he had 4 rough games, or however many he actually played over that stretch.
Bobby, he's not. This isn't his first year in the league. He's played for 5 teams over.
But he did this last year.
Over 7.5 seasons. You have enough body of work to know that
Bobby,
this
you don't
isn't
need to do this.
like
You don't
this
need to do
isn't
this,
Luke.
Bobby.
This was a good game by Luke. Like we're
Right.
not going to say this is.
No, this is the Luke ceiling.
Okay.
And you're going to get it every once in a while. But he's just solid. And you're not going to go to him every night. You're not going to get his best every night. But I think he's probably, as far as the third big goes, the best you can do.
He is the only you can do.
Yeah.
And it's not a knock, but I mean, that's what we said is Kornet minutes make sense when they're short. And when they're down a big, you have no choice. You're going to do that here. So again,
and you know what I like tonight too?
Yeah.
They actually put, you've talked about how they're staggering the bench, John. They haven't staggered with the right guys. Tonight you saw a little bit more Tatum, a little bit more Holiday in with those groups, and it helps so much. I mean, how many times did Holiday hit Kornet with passes here to set him up? They didn't have that in a lot of the benches they were running earlier in the year. And I haven't loved the rotations in those second units from Joe, but tonight they hit the mark, and they were timely. And even the one that shocked me the most, and I turned to Joe Sway, and he turned to me kind of at the same time. When Kornet got hit twice by Dennis Smith Jr. there with a couple pull-ups, gone out in space, you see Horford go right to the scorer's table, and it's like, they're pulling him. He comes in for Brissett, and they go double big with Horford and Luke, and I think that's when Luke got that and one alley-oop. So he stayed with them. He got another play out of him, and ended up being a good decision. You even wondered if he was going to close this game. He was solid tonight.
Nobody wondered that, but he did play. He did play solid. But Luke aside, you like the rotations tonight?
Yeah, I thought you got really good play out of the bench there, especially the end of the third, right, where Hauser got that steal and dunk. Pritchard wasn't great here, but you got good Hauser minutes, you got good Kornet minutes. You staggered Tatum and Holiday in effectively with that group, I thought. Brissett, again, another timely offensive rebound that I think set up a 3 right after. He continues to be a good energy guy. The shot, I saw you tweeting, John. I don't know what happened to his shot because I've seen, throughout covering him over the years,
his numbers are better than what he's shooting now. I mean, you can see how.
But I don't like how it looks.
He had one in the first half that was just a clear, just catch, step into a wide open 3, and he stops, hesitates, takes a weird dribble across the 3-point line. He's like, wait a second, what am I doing? Then steps back and shoots it. I don't think he's thinking of shooting in rhythm or something that he's supposed to do. It wasn't a total brick, but he missed it. But he had an opportunity to just catch and shoot, and he just didn't do it. So I don't think he's looking for it.
No, and he's missing badly right now. I think he got one good look in this game that went in and out, but
that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And he hesitated because he should have shot it the second he got it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It's almost like he's just doing the Neesmith, going in there and trying to just run all
He's
over the place
exactly
and
doing the
crash the
Neesmith.
boards, and
Yeah.
there's no focus on him being implemented into the offense. And I actually thought he might get the spot start in this game, just if they wanted to keep Horford off the bench. It looked like he was getting a little work in with the starters at shoot-around, when they were leaving. So I wouldn't have been stunned if they went in that direction. But right now, and people who responded to me said it, he's the kind of guy that if he's in the game, defenses are going to hedge away from and start to overplay Tatum and the rest again. And I do think that happened a little bit in this game, which led to some sloppy turnovers from Tatum early.
Well, and that was also my thought. We mentioned it earlier, but Joe going to a 3 bench player lineup multiple times in the game because they were down. And I thought that first rotation that they used in the first and the third by taking Tatum off at the 5.5 or 6 minute mark puts you in a really difficult position, because it does the same thing you did last year by putting Brown on the court as kind of the offensive savior and in a role that he hasn't thrived in the past. So it was Holiday and Brown with 3 subs, both in the first and the third quarter when they went through those early rotations. Yeah, and I understand keeping Holiday with Brown because Tatum on his own can handle the ball and play the point forward role when he's out there. But I don't know if I would necessarily do that. It definitely worries me a little bit, that unit, and putting Brown back in that position when they are short like that. I didn't love those, and that's kind of where they lost it a little bit. Yeah.
Are we rich?
Yeah,
No.
We did it.
We just got 500,000 IDRs.
Divvy it up.
I want Bobby to have all those ones. I don't know how much it is. I want Bobby to have them all.
You heard it.
Unless it's like a lot of money.
Yeah.
FanDuel is the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Anyway,
Bobby, you're in the locker room. What's going on in there? How's the vibes?
But I mean, I've said this going back to camp. There's no goofiness. There's no laughing. There's no fooling around. It's just business. Guys are in there. They took care of the job tonight. They won another game, and it's on to the next one. It's impressive to see from a group that has wavered in its consistency and I think gotten complacent after some big games. You win by 51. I think that's a prime opportunity to get complacent, and the Nets really played them well tonight. This was a great game. Love the intensity Brooklyn played with. The coach is going crazy on the other sideline. He's got those guys firing. They're doing hockey lineups and just coming in with fresh legs and just going at them, flying into the half court, firing up threes. They shot more threes than the Celtics in this one, I think 51-44. But Boston withstood it, and they really withstood it with some great poise. It was like every time the Nets rallied and tied the game like they did 10 the first, or pushed back within single digits in the second half there, Celtics just ran a play pretty smoothly, especially late in the fourth there, where Holiday's rolling and finding guys for threes. And they looked unfazed. And there were stretches in this game where Porzingis got hit hard in the offensive glass. There was a technical on Horford at one point that could have been frustrating.
Thank you.
Tough calls back and forth. And they just stayed poised in ways that we didn't always expect from them in recent years. And again, no silliness in the locker room, no joking around, no just, like a college dorm kind of atmosphere like I've seen at different points with them. It's just professional, getting dressed, leaving on to the next one. Absolutely. And they've talked about it too. It's a different atmosphere. It's new guys, so there's not really that familiarity. I think the 2 stars who come in command a level of respect, from the younger guys on this team, given what they've accomplished in this league, Holiday especially. So I just think it's changed the dynamic in the room, at least from what we see.
Interesting.